Next, today I'll talk about election forecast report, analysis of market trends and polls. And I think this is a very important subject given that the US presidential elections is just round the corner right here. So what's in store for us right now, right? So the 2024 US presidential race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump remains highly contested with a narrow margin separating the two candidates. However, we can predict a potential winner by analyzing a combination of key market indicators, polls, and historical election trends. The following sections consolidate the relevant data to assess the likely outcome and provide a nuanced view of each candidate's standing. So what are the key findings? First of all, right, the stock market signals favor Harris. According to research by LPL Financial Holdings, the S&P 500's performance in the 3 months leading to election day has accurately predicted 83% of all presidential elections. With the S&P 500 up 11.8% since August, the market is following a historical pattern that favors the party in power, which is currently the Democrats or their successor. Now, this suggests a positive indicator for Kamala Harris. Notably, there is an exception, okay? The exception was in 2020 when Biden won despite positive market performance, from Trump. This is an anomaly driven by pandemic-related factors, okay? So this time, is there a possibility of this anomaly to happen again? We are talking about 17%, but based on data, stock market data over here, how the stock market is performing, 83% of the time, it's actually favoring what they call the party in power, the current party in power, which is the Democrats. Okay, so this is one. What about two? The second one. Now, Wall Street sentiment shift towards Trump. Now, while the stock market favors Harris, investor sentiment lean towards Trump. Wall Street is preparing for Trump's potential return by pricing in inflationary pressures and higher tariffs. Trump has already mentioned if he gets elected, he is going to have blanket tariffs. And that also includes all the trading partners. It's just not towards China, but also the current trading partners of US. One of them is Europe, and Europe hasn't been, it's not happy. Actually, being on the receiving end of this tariffs, and they have also promised that they will retaliate in the event that tariffs is applied on the European goods going into the US. Now, because of all this inflationary pressures over here, we can see where the long-term 10-year bond price dropping and the yields rising. Now, not only that, political betting markets have also shifted in favor of Trump, reflecting the growing perception that his economic policies may resonate with voters concerned about manufacturing and inflation. Now, again, the key word here is inflation, because when you put in tariffs, you cannot escape. Inflation can come in, and because of this, all the 10-year bonds prices are dropping and the yields are rising. This is a sign, that the markets, they know that there is a potential. That's why I said Wall Street sentiment is pointing towards Trump. What about the polls? What are the polls and prediction markets pointing to? Now, polling data shows a neck-to-neck race with Harris holding 48.1% voter support and Trump 46.4%. And this is according to ABC News 538's tracker. Now, despite Harris' narrow lead, Trump's rise in betting markets reflects momentum in his favor, driven by economic concerns among the electorate. Now, we have to take into account that if you are talking about the betting markets, right, the US citizens are not allowed to bet in on them. Okay, so whatever the bettings that you are seeing right now that's happening, it is done by non-US citizens, and they are not voting. So how accurate, does it reflect the true sentiment? Now that remains to be seen. Okay. Next, we talk about economic indicators and voter sentiment. 62% of Americans view the economy as being poor, in poor shape, which could hurt Harris' campaign, as voters typically associate economic conditions with the incumbent party. Now, however, Biden's exit from the race may allow Harris to rebrand her campaign, and she's already doing it right now, where she has distanced herself from the economic shortcomings of the current administration. Biden has already said, Harris will be doing her own thing. It's not Biden 2.0. And Harris has also said, yes, don't expect the same thing because I am my own, right? So the voters might buy into her story, into this particular uh story, and give her a chance. So that is this possibility. Okay, but if you base on just the economy right now, yeah, it could hurt Harris unless they believe that she can truly bring change, right? And we also have the European market as an indicator, whereby the European stocks are lagging amidst fear of Trump's protectionist policies, indicating global markets are bracing for a Trump win. Now, should Trump win, US-Europe trade relations could deteriorate, triggering market disruptions. Now, this, it's very, very true. You can't deny the fact that this has already happened. The Germans have already warned, they will retaliate, that kind of thing. So at the end of the day, when you have these indicators, right, the question beckons, who is winning? So number one, scenario one first. Market predictions is pointing towards Harry's victory. The positive performance of the S&P 500 aligns with historical trends, favoring the party in power, indicating a slight edge for Kamala Harris. Then you have a scenario two, sentiment and betting markets, Trump momentum. Betting markets and Wall Street sentiment suggest Trump has gained momentum as investors anticipate his economic policies will dominate the conversation. So what's the verdict over here? Slight edge to Harris with a high probability of volatility. It's pointing towards there at the current moment. Anyway, while the S&P 500 rise hints at a Harris victory, Trump's momentum in political betting markets and investor sentiments adds significant uncertainty. The election remains too close to call, but if current trends persist, Harris holds a marginal advantage. However, the role of undecided voters could still shift the outcome, especially if economic conditions worsen in the final days before the elections. Okay, so let's see, in a couple of days, we will know who is the winner. So with that, that's the report for today.